Bonjour à tous. It's for me a real pleasure to host my colleagues, European Ministers of Defense, to discuss about the situation in Ukraine, the EU's support for Ukraine in the short and long term, and also how to further improve the EU's readiness from an operational and industrial capacity perspective. We will also have discussions about the Sahel region and the Red Sea with our partners from NATO, the United Nations and the European Parliament to explore security and operational challenges and how to deal with them. It is clear that a shared commitment to peace and stability drives our discussions.
But also in the Middle East, I think one of the topics in the meeting also right now, the escalation getting very bad in the Middle East. Just last week, Iranian regime attacked the Erbil city, the capital of the Iraqi Kurdistan region. Not just this city, and they still continue. What's your reaction? Are you concerned about the Iranian regime or Iranian militia?
Alors, je vais peut-être switcher ici en français. Il est clair que la situation dans la région est préoccupante. Il y a évidemment la situation sur Gaza et la position de la Belgique a toujours été très claire. Nous souhaitons un cessez-le-feu immédiat, nous souhaitons une diminution de l'intensité des combats et pour cela, évidemment, il faut pouvoir discuter, il faut pouvoir entamer des négociations pour pouvoir protéger ces populations qui sont victimes et donc ouvrir des corridors humanitaires. Par ailleurs, effectivement, la situation est préoccupante parce qu'il y a toujours une possible conflagration dans la région, voire à l'international. Donc c'est une situation qui est prise très au sérieux. Nous encourageons évidemment à poursuivre la discussion, les négociations, à la fois pour libérer les otages détenus par le Hamas et pour diminuer l'intensité dans un premier temps et stopper la violence sur Gaza. Je dis souvent, on ne peut pas avoir de double standard. Nous voulons le respect du droit international partout, pour tous les pays, et donc y compris ici aussi dans cette région. Parallèlement, il y aura une discussion sur la mer Rouge avec les attaques des Houthis et la nécessaire protection des navires marchands.
Mais cette protection, les navires, c'est aussi aborder des cargos, par exemple, parce que ça, c'est une différence.
Donc ici, ce sera une discussion pour la mission européenne, de voir quelles seront également et les missions, mais aussi les règles d'engagement. Notre but, c'est vraiment une attitude défensive, d'accompagnement des navires et de protection. C'est bien là l'essence même de notre discussion aujourd'hui. Évidemment, on pourra vous en dire davantage après cette journée. Merci.
Good morning. Good morning, and thank you for being here so early in the morning. We are going to have very busy schedule today with important issues in the table. First, we will hear from Defense Minister from Ukraine, Umerov, who will join us by video conference to explain the situation in the ground and the military development of the war. Then we will discuss about our support. This is a restricted session, minister only, due to the very confidential quality of the information we are going to share among us. It's obviously necessary to have a clear understanding on where we are on providing ammunition. Ministers have been asked to present exactly what they have done, what they are doing, what they plan to do, in order to have a clear understanding of what has to do altogether in order to provide Ukraine with the needs and to reach the targets that we establish. It's important to clarify the situation and know where we are and how we will be by the end of the year, by March and by the end of the year. I will give you all details and figures at the end of the conference, because the purpose of the conference and the meeting is precisely that, to have a clear understanding of the situation and the commitments. Ukrainians need more ammunition. There is a big imbalance on the fire capacity from one side and the other, and this gap has to be filled. And this is why this Council will take a quite dramatic dimension, and that's why it's being taken place in a restrictive measure. We will also discuss the assistance fund for Ukraine inside the European Peace Facility. You know that is in the agenda of the leaders tomorrow, in the package of support to Ukraine. We have to show that our clear commitment with Ukraine remains and continues. And today we will try to solve the issues that some member states want to be considered on the new stage of the European Peace Facility. Until now, this has been used in order to funding the destocking of the previous existing material and being retaken by new material. Now it's more on the idea of supporting the production, new production of European defense industry. So it has to do both a way of funding the support to Ukraine and a way of pushing the European industry to increase its capacity. This is about Ukraine. And then on the second discussion, we will be about our defense readiness, and in particular to the will to develop a strategy for the European defense industry. Last EUCO tasked me as High Representative in charge of security policy. The European Defence Agency, which is the body created ad hoc for the development of the industrial capacity on defence, and the Commission, obviously. The three of us are working, and we will produce a common communication, a common presentation, a common strategy, putting together the supply and demand side and using the studies done by the European Defence Agency about what our armies need and which is the capacity of our industry to satisfy these needs. This document will be presented to the Commission, to approval for the Commission, because it's a joint communication. Inside is me and my team, High Representative and the European Defence Agency, and on the other side, Commissioner Breton, who is in charge of the industrial sector of defence. I hope will be approved at the end of February and presented to the leaders at the following European Union Council. I repeat, it's a tasking that the UCO require work together and present to the leaders. And the third is the grave security challenge in the Red Sea. The creation of a new Navy mission of the European Union to participate on escorting the merchant ships in the Red Sea, facing the attacks by the Houthis, will be decided. I'm sure it will be decided. Not all member states will be willing to participate, but no one will obstruct. That's what I hope. The ones that don't want to participate, they just have to put aside. And we are going to be very quickly, I hope that on the 17th of this month, the mission could be launched. We have to decide which country will take the command forces, where will be the headquarters, and which will be the Navy assets that member states will provide. You know, by Atalanta is Spain, who is taking the command. The headquarters is in Rota, in Spain. It depends who's going to take the lead. I hope that this will be decided today, and I will announce you after. And this operation in the Red Sea will have a name, Aspides. Aspides means protector, not to confound with aspid. Aspides, protection. This is the purpose. Protection of the ships, intercepting the attacks against the ships, not participating in any kind of actions against the Houthis, only blocking the attacks of the Houthis to the boats. Certainly, it's an important mission. We are all concerned by the traffic to the canal. Many European firms ask us to do that because their business model is suffering a lot due to the high increase in cost on having to go down to the South Africa and do all the tour until Europe. It's affecting costs, so it's affecting prices, so it's affecting inflation. So it's a natural endeavor for us to try to avoid this risk. The last point will be Sahel. You know that the three countries with military dictatorships, Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso, have abandoned immediately ECOWAS. Mali has broken the Algiers agreements. Well, immediately means that at least during 1 year they will still to be there preparing their way out. But it's very important and very significant that these three states, all of them with a military dictatorship, decided to leave the regional body, the West Africa, to create another group of countries, I suppose very much linked to Mali, which is stronger among them. At the same time that we see the Russia influence increase, very high, very strong already in Mali, and maybe soon in Niger or in Burkina. This creates a new geopolitical configuration of this area. On the 24th of May is a deadline for the mission that we still have in Mali. And member states will have to decide if they want to stay, continue the mission, or do otherwise. This will be on a decision by the Ministers of Foreign Affairs, whether another restricted meeting in order to see what do we do. France has had to leave. We have left our military mission, incipient military mission, in civilian mission, but we still have a couple of missions in Mali which has not been withdrawn, but they are not connected with the ordinary work since we don't want to cooperate with the Wagner now called Africa Corps. So more influence of Russia, more fragmentation of the African landscape, and more decision to be taken by us, I hope, in agreement with all member states by the 24th of May. This will be discussed on February too. today, support to Ukraine and Navy mission in the Red Sea.
On Middle East, you know
East.
very well in Iran, behind all escalation, they have so many militia in Iraq, Syria, Yemen. Just last week, they attacked the Erbil city, the capital of the Iraqi Kurdistan region. What's your reaction? Are you concerned about the Iranian regime?
Certainly we are concerned by all the hot spots in the area, but I cannot say what I haven't yet discussed first. We'll talk
Mr.
about
Borrell,
it.
concerning Ukraine, did I understand that correctly? You said the 1 million artillery shells you promised until March will be delivered.
I haven't said
till the end of
anything
the
about
year.
figures.
Pardon?
I haven't said.
But could you confirm this kind
I
of timetable?
confirm
That it's not
everything.
delivered by March, but
I
end of
confirm
December?
everything after the meeting.
But the tone you said is very
I
worrying
confirm
right now.
everything after the meeting because if I want to give you accurate data, I have to get them first.
But just the tone you said today, it sounds quite worrying that you fear that Ukraine...
You will see if it is worrying or not when you will have the figures. Okay?
And how about Iran? Are you going to discuss?
Thank you.
Come funziona? C'è una domanda, qualcosa? No? No, siamo Sono contento di essere qua oggi, speriamo di riuscire a affrontare i temi che sono sul tavolo importanti non solo per l'Europa, in primis l'Ucraina, ma anche la situazione del Mar Rosso. Mi auguro che finalmente l'Europa riesca a prendere una posizione più concreta e meno burocratica, perché i tempi che viviamo richiedono velocità e pragmatismo. Non possiamo permetterci di affrontare i problemi come li abbiamo affrontati finora. Buon lavoro a tutti.
Minister, what about support for Ukraine? Ammunition, the EU is failing.
Bonjour, mon nom est Yuriko Bakes. I am the new Minister of Defense of Luxembourg, so I'm very happy to be here today and congratulate the Belgian presidency for a perfect organization of this ministerial informal meeting. We have a huge responsibility as EU countries, together with our partners and allies across the world in these times, difficult times of crisis. We are here to find solutions to make the world safer in these very uncertain times. So we have a huge responsibility, and I look forward from the Luxembourg side also to contributing to that. Thank you very much.
The Chancellor calls on European partners to increase their military aid for Ukraine. Will you follow his demand?
Yes, I think Luxembourg has already contributed a lot. 16% of our annual defense budget over the past 2 years have been contributed to Ukraine. As I said, we have collectively a huge responsibility. We all need to contribute to the defense of the Ukraine, and Luxembourg will do its part. Thank you very much.
But how can you explain very often
Yes, good morning. So, obviously we have one very important topic and many other important topics, but the most important still is to find the consensus and find a solution for 1 million rounds for Ukraine. I am hopeful. I'm definitely hopeful. I'm very glad that Commissioner Borrell, High Representative Borrell, took this initiative from our side very seriously. Today we also offered to make ministers only or ministers plus one meeting to talk freely. And it's good that we have this discussion, and I'm very hopeful that we can also reach a consensus that these 1 million rounds or even more will be delivered to Ukraine. Maybe if not before March, then during this year. But let's see how the discussion goes. I'm quite hopeful. But let's do not forget that we have also Sahel and Red Sea, what we have to discuss. So many topics in our agenda. Let's see how it goes.
But time is of essence. Or how can you say, okay, if not in March, then maybe during the year?
Time is of essence, and we have been saying that many times. But let's also be realistic. When we started this process a year ago, nobody believed that the European Union can do something so quickly. So we achieved first, yes, and Estonia has done our share. And when we take that we found this solution and consensus in 5 weeks only in European Union. Then today we see that we had 3 goals. First, to send ammunition to Ukraine. Yes, we will do that. Secondly, we said that we need to bring new money to defense. Yes, we did it. And we will do that more. And thirdly, to ramp up the production, we see that the production rates will go up to 1.4 million rounds by the end of this year. We also did that. Of course, we would like to see that it all happens much quicker. But this is the realistic view, and it is important that we find a solution today, and then we will take also political commitment to help Ukraine as quickly as possible and as much as needed.
If Estonia does everything, who has to act?
Everyone. Also also Estonia. It's our joint effort. It's not the time to point a finger to someone or to say that you are not doing enough or you are not doing enough. It is our collective responsibility, and we all have to do that. So thank you very much. We have many ministers. Yes.
That it does way more than other countries in terms of helping Ukraine. What do you say to this?
Germany is doing a very good job, and I'm very grateful that we see that Germany said openly that close to 8 billion will be sent this year to Ukraine. And this is a very important message and great leadership what Germany is doing at the moment. The same we did already 2 weeks before the war started in Ukraine. Once again, it is our joint effort and collective effort, and this is what we need to keep in mind. Thank you. Obviously, we have one very important topic and many other important topics.
So, good morning, everyone. Today is an important meeting of Ministers of Defense on the eve of European Council. And it is a meeting of importance and urgency. It's important to support Ukraine, continuously support Ukraine. It is important, of course, also to have a developed military industry. As for Ukraine, the assistance fund comes on the table. Important to have a financial support. Latvia supports it actively. Also, what Latvia does is training Ukrainian soldiers, additionally providing donations, and of course, importantly, in the format of Ramstein coalitions, we have developed also the drone coalition. As for military industry, it is also important to continue with development of military industry. It is important to have a regional dimension or balanced regional dimension included, also small and medium-sized enterprises to be emphasized. Last but not least, the different initiatives and additional funding is as well urgent and instrumental in supporting the industry in these quite challenging times. Well, I think there are several tracks how we can do it. Of course, we should look actively what we can provide from our stocks, and I think some inventory is already being done, and I think we are looking exactly what are the ways to use our own stocks. Then, in a longer-term perspective, but I mean it starts now, is to develop our industry, our industrial capacity, and of course also we should look for joint procurement, including in Europe, but also beyond Europe. So there are several ways how we provide this 1 million. So I am very optimistic and sure that in a near time we will be able to put together 1 million. If not immediately by end of the March, there will be some challenges, but certainly in a near time, in the coming months.
It's our joint effort. It's not the time to point a finger to someone or say that we are not doing enough or you are not doing enough. It is our collective responsibility, and we all have to
It's been on the table. I think there has been initiative to do like this, to proceed with such kind of specific also plans when there is a specific numbers as well. But of course we respect that each country has its own approach. Yes, Latvia underlines importance there should be clear financial contributions, of course military contributions as well. Ukraine is fighting for Ukrainian freedom, but also for rules-based order for our freedom. So that's why continuous support and planned continuous support is extremely important. So yes, these proposals are on the table, but certainly they will be discussed also among the members. Members have also the several ways how to deal with financing support for Ukraine.
Some member states say they're already done their utmost in providing their own stock to help Ukraine in terms of ammunition. Do you share that assessment?
I think that in 2 years' time we've done a lot, and actually it shows also that since we are already asking those questions, raising those questions, it means that actually it's been done a lot. But yes, that's why I underline the industrial base, industrial capacity with added political will and financial investments are extremely important to continue sustainable support in the long term. We can see the war in Ukraine, it lasts for 2 years, and we cannot exclude that it can still be quite a long way for Ukrainian victory. So in this case, of course, also industrial capacity should be certainly made a sustainable one. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Grüß Gott, schönen guten Morgen. Ich darf heute die Verteidigungsministerin vertreten, die leider aufgrund eines grippalen Infekts die Anreise nicht antreten konnte. Wir haben heute auf der Tagesordnung zum einen die Unterstützung der Ukraine, andererseits werden wir uns mit der sicherheitspolitischen Lage in der Sahelregion beschäftigen und der möglichen Einrichtung einer Mission im Roten Meer. Ich glaube, es ist auch für Österreich wichtig, als Nation, die sehr auf den Export orientiert ist, dass wir hier auch unseren Beitrag leisten. Als erstes gilt es aber zu überprüfen, wie das finale Design der Operation aussehen wird. Danach werden wir die Entscheidung treffen, ob und in welchem Ausmaß wir uns als Österreich beteiligen.
Ich habe gehört, dass zum Beispiel auch das Jagdkommando sich daran beteiligen könnte, wenn es darum geht, Frachtschiffe nicht nur zu schützen, sondern auch zu ändern. Geht es darum, können Sie das durchschieben?
Ich glaube, letzten Endes müssen wir abwarten, wie wirklich das finale Design der Operation aussehen wird. Wir haben in der Vergangenheit bereits bewiesen, mit unserer Teilnahme auch bei EUNAVFOR Med Irini, dass wir auch bei einer maritimen Operation als Österreich einen Beitrag leisten können. Sobald die entsprechenden Planungsdokumente am Tisch liegen, werden wir dann entscheiden, wie ein allfälliger österreichischer Beitrag aussehen könnte.
Wir haben schon sehr gesehen, zum Beispiel der Herr Borrell hat auch sehr, wie soll man sagen, sehr sorgsame Töne heute angesprochen bzw. anklingen lassen. Durchaus auch beunruhigend, was jetzt quasi Waffenlieferungen an die Ukraine angeht, dass die EU-Länder nicht in der Lage sind, genug zu liefern. Wäre es jetzt nicht auch an der Zeit einmal, dass Österreich quasi versucht, einen Umweg zu wählen? Wir wissen, es wäre ja zum Beispiel möglich, dass Österreich 155 mm Artilleriegeschosse an Deutschland liefert, um so quasi die der Ukraine zukommen zu lassen.
Ich glaube, die österreichische Position ist hinlänglich bekannt. Wir leisten unseren Solidarbeitrag. Sie wissen aber genauso, dass unsere österreichische Sicherheits- und Verteidigungspolitik einen spezifischen Charakter aufweist und wir uns daher nur im nicht-letalen Bereich...
Es wäre aber möglich, diesen Umweg zu gehen. Das haben uns etliche Experten gesagt, auch mit Neutralität vereinbar. Also die Frage war, wäre es nicht an der Zeit, sich das zu überlegen und quasi einen neuen Weg anzuschlagen?
Ich glaube, wir haben die vergangenen 2 Jahre bewiesen, welchen Beitrag wir auch als Solidarbeitrag für die Ukraine leisten. Ich sehe keinen Grund, dass wir diesen Ansatz hier entsprechend ändern.
On the Middle East, Iranian regime behind all of the conflict escalation. They have so many militia group in all the other country, you know, in Lebanon, Syria, Iraq. They have in Yemen. Are you concerned about that?
I think the most important aspect for the European Union is not to become a conflict party. So I think we have to be very cautious and we need to investigate what our possible actions might lead to, and we have to see the overall picture in that regard.
Herr Generalsekretär, wenn jetzt das Munitionsziel voraussichtlich nach hinten verschoben wird, können Sie erklären, warum fällt es der EU so schwer, der Ukraine zu helfen? Warum kommt es immer wieder zu Verzögerungen bei Waffen- und Munitionslieferungen?
Ich glaube, wenn Sie die Vergangenheit hernehmen, so werden Sie sehen, dass die EU einen gewaltigen Beitrag auch zur Unterstützung der Ukraine geleistet hat. Es kann immer etwas mehr sein. Wir wissen, wo die Hausaufgaben liegen. Wir werden uns heute auch damit befassen, wie wir die europäische Verteidigungsindustrie hier auch entsprechend verstärken können.
Bundeskanzler Scholz hat nun angemahnt, dass die anderen europäischen Partner im Vergleich zu Deutschland zu wenig liefern. Würden Sie dem zustimmen? Was sagen Sie zu der Haltung des Bundeskanzlers?
Die österreichische Position ist hier klar. Wir leisten unseren Solidarbeitrag. Daran halten wir auch weiterhin fest.
Jetzt hören wir aber immer wieder, dass quasi die Ukraine auch die europäischen Werte verteidigt. Wie kann das dann sein, dass quasi dass in den Waffenlieferungen nicht wiedergespiegelt wird? Ist das nur heiße Luft, die immer wieder von sich gegeben wird?
Das glaube ich nicht. Ich glaube, es ist auch hier in den vergangenen 2 Jahren, seit dem 24. Februar 2022, einiges passiert. Klar ist, dass gerade mit Blick auf die industriellen Kapazitäten in der Europäischen Union hier einiges mehr gemacht werden muss. Wir werden in den nächsten Tagen wahrscheinlich auch eine neue Verteidigungsstrategie seitens der Kommission vorgelegt bekommen, die insbesondere das Thema gemeinsame Beschaffungen auch vorsieht. Ich glaube, es geht hier in die richtige Richtung.
Was tut der Österreich? Haben Sie mit einigen Waffen- oder Munitionsproduktionsstätten schon neue Verträge abgeschlossen?
Ich glaube, es ist generell auch in unserem Interesse, gemeinsame Beschaffungen in Europa zu fördern und hier auch unterstützend aufzutreten. Wann immer es hier auch für uns als Österreich als Verteidigungsressort eine Möglichkeit gibt, werden wir uns daran beteiligen.
Was an mehr bräuchte denn die Ukraine, um sich ordentlich zu verteidigen?
Ich glaube, die Fakten liegen am Tisch, haben sich auch in den letzten Monaten nicht grundlegend geändert. Im Wesentlichen ist der Artilleriebedarf seitens der Ukraine auch immer klar artikuliert worden. Ich glaube, hier kann noch einiges getan werden. Es wird aber am heutigen Vormittag auch entsprechend diskutiert werden, wie die Ukraine weiter unterstützt werden kann.
Sie sagen, noch einiges getan wird, aber Österreich, das möchte ich nochmal gerne fragen, Österreich ist nicht bereit, quasi über diesen Umweg an Deutschland zu liefern und dann an die Ukraine. Wenn Sie sagen, es muss mehr getan werden, warum wird Österreich nicht mehr?
Österreich hat eine klare Position. Österreich leistet sehr viel an Unterstützung für die Ukraine. Das werden wir weiter aufrechterhalten. Danke.
Good morning. Moin. Es ist mir eine große Freude, heute hier Boris Pistorius vertreten zu dürfen, der an den Haushaltsverhandlungen und den abschließenden Beratungen im Bundestag teilnehmen wird. Heute steht da ja auch der Einzelplan 14, also der Verteidigungsetat, auf dem Plan. Für uns ist es sehr wichtig, dass wir heute hier im informellen Rahmen über die Themen beraten können, die im Bereich Außen- und Sicherheitspolitik äußerst relevant sind, aber eben dann auch in einem informellen Rahmen hier die gute Gelegenheit bieten, gemeinsam miteinander ins Gespräch zu kommen. Es stehen aus unserer Sicht 4 Themen auf der Tagesordnung. Ganz vorneweg natürlich die Beratung zur zukünftigen Unterstützung der Ukraine. Wir werden beginnen mit der Videobotschaft des ukrainischen Verteidigungsministers, der heute nicht persönlich da sein kann. Aber dann werden wir natürlich danach in die Beratung gehen zur weiteren Unterstützung der Ukraine. Für Deutschland ist klar, wir stehen fest an der Seite der Ukraine. Es geht dabei insbesondere um die zukünftige Unterstützung im Bereich Ausrüstung, im Bereich Luftverteidigung. Da werden wir vorstellen, dass wir im Bereich Luftverteidigungsfähigkeitskoalition auch vorankommen und natürlich, dass wir weiterhin im Rahmen von EUMAM auch ukrainische Soldaten auch in diesem Jahr in der Höhe von 10.000 ausbilden möchten und diese Kapazitäten zur Verfügung stellen. Das weitere brennende Thema wird natürlich sein das Thema Rotes Meer. Wir werden da beraten über die Beistellung bzw. die GSVP-Mission und dann auch eine mögliche Beiträge, die europäische Mitgliedstaaten stellen könnten. Wir erwarten, dass wir zum 19. Februar Wir erwarten zum 19. Februar ich brauche einmal das Stichwort. Genau, danke. Müssen wir einmal drauf gucken. Wir erwarten zum 19. Februar den EU-Ratsbeschluss, an den wir dann die beschleunigte deutsche Befassung im Bundestag anschließen können. Wir werden uns dann, sofern der Bundestag zustimmt, auch mit einer Fähigkeit der deutschen Marine beteiligen, die sich ja bereits in der Vorbereitung auf diese Mandatierung bzw. auf eine mögliche Beteiligung befindet. Das alles zwar in enger Abstimmung mit der Operation Prosperity Guardian, aber das Mandat ist explizit ja auch durch die im Rahmen der GSVP-Mission als defensives Mandat geplant. Der dritte Punkt ist die Verstärkung der europäischen Verteidigungsfähigkeit. Im Zuge dieser Beratung oder im Vorfeld dieser Beratung, die heute beginnen, haben wir gestern ja zusammen mit den Niederlanden den Musterkorridor zur militärischen Verlegefähigkeit beschlossen und unterzeichnet, das LOI. Es ist für uns äußerst wichtig, dass wir militärische Effektivität über Verlegefähigkeit darstellen können und dementsprechend freuen wir uns, dass wir von den Westhäfen bis hin zur Ostflanke dann die Verlegefähigkeit über diesen Musterkorridor darstellen können und dass wir da eben einen Beitrag leisten können zur Konkretisierung von politischem Willen. Das haben wir gestern den ersten Meilenstein quasi genommen und da wollen wir dann auch weiter vorangehen.
Frau Staatssekretärin, Deutschland liefert mittlerweile sehr viele Waffen an die Ukraine. Was ist heute Ihre Botschaft an die europäischen Partner? Was fordern Sie genau?
Wir haben die Botschaft mitgebracht, dass wir die Rahmenverträge aufgestellt haben, dass wir sie auch geöffnet haben für unsere Partner. Wir sind sehr froh, dass auch andere Nationen darüber Munition, insbesondere bei der 155 mm Munition, auch abrufen und damit eine Zukunftsperspektive für eine langfristige Unterstützung der Ukraine im Bereich Munition auch dargestellt werden kann. Das ist unsere Botschaft, aber klar ist, wir haben noch einen langen Weg zu gehen und wir müssen dann alle auch gucken, dass wir die Ukraine weiter unterstützen, weil das sichert auch die europäische unsere Art zu leben und unsere Freiheit.
Nun fordert Deutschland ja aber immer mehr Waffen und fordert die anderen europäischen Länder auf, diese auch zu liefern. Relativ zum Bruttoinlandsprodukt gesehen ist Deutschland allerdings weit hinten. Was sagen Sie denn dazu? Wie hängt das zusammen mit der Aussage von Olaf Scholz, dass Deutschland denn so viel liefert? Passt das zusammen für Sie?
Gemessen im Vergleich, abgesehen davon, dass ich eigentlich diese Vergleiche ablehne, aber gemessen im Vergleich ist Deutschland nach den USA die größte Unterstützernation. Wir liefern allein, wir haben Verpflichtungsermächtigungen bzw. Zusagen getätigt für dieses Jahr über 7 Milliarden Euro, die an die Ukraine, also Finanzmittel, die zur Unterstützung der Ukraine zur Verfügung stehen. Wir liefern im Bereich Luftverteidigung, wir liefern im Bereich gepanzerte Gefechtsfahrzeuge, wir liefern im Bereich Munition und wir bilden aus. Das heißt, wir stellen immer ein Gesamtpaket zur Verfügung und das tun wir, weil wir fest an der Seite der Ukraine stehen wollen und das passt dann auch zusammen.
Genau, Österreich schickt keine letalen Waffen, keine Munition in die Ukraine. Ukraine könnte aber zum Beispiel über den Neutralitätsbündnis könnte über einen Umweg aber an Deutschland 55 mm Artilleriegeschosse schicken, was wiederum unter Deutschland errichtigen würde, an die Ukraine zu schicken. Haben Sie mit Österreich schon mal darüber gesprochen?
Das steht mir jetzt nicht zu, das hier zu kommentieren, muss ich ehrlicherweise sagen. Wir reden mit allen befreundeten Nationen über Möglichkeiten der Unterstützung der Ukraine und ich bin mir absolut sicher, dass wir auch mit unseren österreichischen Freunden über Dinge sprechen.
On the Middle East, Iranian regime behind all, on the Middle East, Iranian regime behind all the confliction escalation. They have militia group in Syria, Iraq, Yemen, Lebanon. And the last time, just 1 week ago, they have been attacked the Erbil, the Iraqi Kurdistan region. There is the German soldiers there in this bases. Are you worried about that? What's your reaction?
We're very worried about the situation in the Middle East. We see the risk that that there could happen an escalation, which is why we are together with friends and allies. We are working and trying to find a solution to the region. And of course, we are in big concern for our own soldiers, but we know that they are well aware how to secure themselves.
The idea that all countries should send equal amount.
Good morning. Very briefly, I just want to say I'm looking forward to having this informal council under Belgian presidency. I think we have many pressing topics to discuss, of course. Most pressing, I would say, Ukraine and how we can do more to help them. And that is talking also about our defense industry, about increasing production and making sure that our deliveries continue for them to fight this war. And of course we will also discuss other pressing issues like the situation in the Red Sea and also in the Sahel.
On the Middle East, I don't know, the Iranian regime behind all the confliction, behind all the activity, they have so many militia in Yemen, Iraq, Syria, Lebanon. You are, as a European Union Minister of Defense, are you worried about that? What's your reaction? What are you going to do?
I think it's a very worrying situation indeed. There are many proxies, as you say, and we know that Iran is also delivering capabilities, serious capabilities, to various terrorist organizations. And that means that there is a great risk of escalation, and that's why we're very much stressing that there is a need to de-escalate. I think also in the Red Sea, where we must protect the freedom of navigation, which is vital to global trade and to the world, and we cannot accept that the Houthis continue to hit vessels there in an indiscriminate way. But I agree there are various other threats at this moment in various countries that we have to take very, very seriously. I think we have to do everything we can to de-escalate and to have a dialogue in every way with other countries in the region who are also affected by this same issue.
Last week, they have been attacked the Erbil city, the capital of the Iraqi Kurdistan region, and they attacked also the soldier from Netherlands. You have the soldier there. How concerned are you?
Well, in Iraq we are with a Dutch mission for the NATO and also still involved in the anti-IS Daesh mission. So, of course, we are very concerned, like our partners, and very strongly urging Iran to stop these attacks and to also make sure that the attacks that are ongoing now on a high frequency must stop. And we've also urged the government of Iraq to do the same thing. Thank you.
The German Chancellor calls on their European partners to increase their military aid for Ukraine. Will you follow his demand, and what do you say to the German position that it delivers way more weapons and ammunition to Ukraine than other
Well, first of all, I commend Germany because they are doing a great effort to support Ukraine in capabilities, in financial terms. And I think that everybody knows that also the Netherlands has since the beginning really been on the front row and also encouraging others to do more and to do everything they can. And I think it's our joint effort to continue to show this unity and to continue to make sure that we have the budgets and that we make sure we get the capabilities there. It's the speed of relevance.
Do you discuss the idea that all countries should spend equal amount of GDP to support Ukraine? What do you think about this idea?
I think the idea is more to see if we are doing our fair share. Some are doing more, some are doing more but not doing it openly. So I think all countries are very much united, the European countries very much united in their support for Ukraine. But of course it's a national decision. But today I think I'm also going to urge, make sure that we have the funding, make sure that we have the industry, and make sure that we have the delivery at the speed of relevance.
And when the F-16 would be in Ukraine, what are your thoughts?
Well, we're really working hard on that. The Ukrainians are working hard on that. It will happen this year, I'm sure about that. I cannot give a specific time and date right now.
On ammunition, is it possible for the Netherlands to take through the national stockpiles to give more ammunition to Ukraine?
I think we have ramped up everything we can, so that means that we have funded various initiatives. For this past year, it's more than 350 million euros that we are using to fund ammunition production. And so we're going to discuss that today because we're seeing a significant increase in production. So that means also significant increase in delivery to Ukraine. But of course, Ukraine is fighting a war, and if you see what is happening, intense fighting going on every day, I completely understand the urge for them to have even more.
But
Thank
do you
you.
think that EU countries do enough? Because we hear that some countries hesitate concluding long-term contracts with ammunition production companies. Therefore, they are not able to ramp up production.
Yeah, I think we have to discuss that today. And I think the long-term contracts, so giving them security, thinking about new ways, guarantees, faster procedure, procurement, joint procurement, I think that is the way forward. And I think that is what we're going to discuss this morning.
What does it all mean for the actual situation in Ukraine? We know time is of essence, and today we hear very often on a regular basis we do not deliver as much as Ukraine needs.
Well, time is of the essence for Ukraine, and especially if you're on the front line, I couldn't agree more. At the same time, we also have to be prepared for the possibility that this is going to be a long war. And we also must show to Putin that time is not on his side. So we will be there and we will remain there and we will be able to plan forward also for, if necessary, years to come.
But wouldn't you say that it's a bad signal if the European Union is now about to set a new date for the ammunition and it's not March 2024 anymore, but it will be like the end of 2024? What kind of signal is this?
Last year we set a very ambitious goal, 1 year, 1 million. But we had various goals. We wanted to have the budget, we wanted to increase production capacity, and we wanted to deliver to Ukraine. And I think we are delivering. And even if it will take some more time to reach the 1 million, you will see a huge increase in production that we maybe would not have thought possible only a year or 2 years ago. We have the funding. So I think we are showing that we are living up to what we promise, even if the actual production and delivery might take a little bit longer. But I think we still have to look for any possible way to increase and to speed up.
How much longer?
I still have to have the meeting, so I'm going to urge for as soon as possible. Thank you very much. Thanks.